This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Layton's Chance Vineyard and Winery.
Well, springtime is planting time on Delmarva, and at Layton's Chance Vineyard and Winery, it's also time to bottle and cork the fall harvest.
And if growing the grapes and making the wine is the marathon, bottling the wine is a sprint at the end. The time it takes for grapes to go from the vine to the barrels to the bottle takes about a year depending on the wine. And at Layton's Chance Winery in Vienna, it's bottling time. This truck is where it's all done.
It goes in totally empty bottles, comes out filled, corked, capsuled, label on it, ready to go.
Layton's uses Landwort Mobile Bottling out of Harrisonburg, Virginia to get the job done. And at a rate of 52 bottles a minute, 27,000 bottles will be ready to ship in about 48 hours.
If we would use the equipment that we could afford to use for us to purchase, we'd do about 6 bottles at a time and then have to hand label them.
Today we're going to do about 18,000 bottles here at Layton's Chance.
Gary Simmer started the mobile bottling company in 2000.
We started out with 18 wineries who had committed to use it if I would build it. And it took off from there to where it's all we can do now.
In the months ahead, this truck will travel up and down the East Coast to various wineries.
It's beneficial to the wineries in many areas. Number one is the capital investment, which they no longer are required to have. Generally anywhere from $200,000 to $400,000 to set up with equipment which they're going to use 2, maybe 3 days a year.
Earlier in the day, several hundred cases of Joe's Cool White were bottled. Now it's time for Layton's popular watermelon wine.
Turn on the wine!
It's an exciting, albeit stressful time for everyone at Layton's.
It's fun, it's fast-paced, there's always something you have to fix and move and tweak, so it's very exciting.
Layton's relies on volunteers to help with the process.
We have several people today that took the day off to come help us out. Now they get 20% off of whatever they purchased today, but they just love the experience because it's very much like, you know, the Discovery Channel to see it. So they love to be a part of it.
Even I got a chance to be a part of that process, helping box up bottles as they came off the line. We got off to a slow start. Here comes the first case. Woo! And just like Jennifer said, there was a little tweaking to do.
This bottling line is a little monster of its own. We'll stop for lunch. The line was running beautifully when we stopped. We start back up after lunch and nothing works. It's a temperamental device that you have to be able to go with the flow.
Eventually, the flow started to speed up. In fact, it started to get a bit overwhelming.
It's a little crazy. It's kind of like Lucy and Ethel in the candy factory. Hello.
But eventually, it all gelled, and we were churning out the bottles at breakneck speed. A dizzying, fast-paced process. That results in a nice, relaxing glass of wine for many to enjoy. You can buy Layton's Chance wine at retailers all over the eastern shore of Maryland. The watermelon wine is sold only at the winery in Dorchester County, and I hear it goes fast.
And a glass of wine can also go well with a juicy burger. So up next on Delmarva Life, we're going to learn how to dress up our burgers. And no ingredient is off limits. What burger creations are all the buzz right now, and how biting into a juicy burger could win you a trip to Punta Cana.
But first, we saw what it takes to make the wine. Once it's finished, you'll want to hang on to the bottle and cork. Rachel Ray has a handy how-to tip to show us why.
If you love to garden, you are gonna love these double-duty tips for empty wine bottles and wine corks. We all save the wine corks, right? Sentimental value. We all have the wine bottles left over after we have friends over for supper. Well, before they go to the recycling bin, check this out. It can slow water your potted plants. Like if you're gonna go away over a weekend, fill it with water, turn it upside down, and drop it right down in the plant. Then use the corks as little markers for your garden stakes. Look at that.